I remember when I was a junior that I really liked playing against hard hitters. The players that blast for 3-4 balls, but if you can stay in the rally, they will eventually miss. Obviously, the higher you go in rankings, the players can keep the ball in play at insanely higher paces. I mean, look at what the players are doing now for longer in the rally, but I still had a really, really good record against players that blasted from all corners. And that was simply because I had the perfect game to destroy their rhythm, basically. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to beat players that are hitting the ever-loving baloney out of the ball, but can't necessarily maintain that for a very long time. The one way to not beat a blaster is to try to hit even harder. And surprisingly, this is what a lot of players try to do because they feel rushed, because they feel they can't really construct the point. So if you know that you are playing somebody like that, mental skills tip, you have to accept that they will hit some improbable winners. You have to accept that the points are probably not necessarily going to be very long, and you have to accept that it's not going to be a feel good, I get my rhythm first. What you have to do is you have to break their rhythm. You have to not give them the balls that they want to tee off on. Blasters love hard, deep, flat balls. But if you're able to withstand that initial pressure, that initial kind of onslaught, eventually they might actually hit balls in the fence. So you have to be a rhythm breaker. You have to be ready to jump on the opportunities that you will still get in every single rally and hit the balls that they don't like. And my dad always gave me a very, very simple game plan. Don't give them the same ball twice in a row because that's what they want, hard, flat, and then they tee off. So you have 5 ways to manipulate the ball. You have height, pace, depth, and spin with which you can break their rhythm, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're actually going to start with the width of the court. Ideally, you want to use as many cross-court balls as you can to withstand the initial onslaught. Going cross-court is your highest percentage shot, lowest part of the net, deepest part of the court, and it is incredibly difficult to change direction off of a cross-court ball to go down the line, because what happens a lot of times off those harder, flatter balls, you might catch the ball late. If the ball's coming cross-court, you want to go down the line, you might catch the ball late and you're missing them wide. When they're just firing away, keep the ball cross-court first. Obviously, when you get a shorter ball that sits a little bit more in the middle, that's when you can attack. And it's sometimes really great to actually follow those balls in because they love an attacking style. But if they're getting attacked, playing defense is not necessarily their strength. How else can you exploit the width? Blasters usually love to move laterally at the baseline. And you can change that a little bit and at least move them in a little bit with shorter angles. You're deliberately trying to pull them off the court with shorter balls, and that is when you actually manipulate depth, width, and spin, because you have several options to hit shorter cross-court angles. You can roll it. You can chip them with a slice. You can either drop shot them outright or disguise a drop shot. Obviously, when you're making the blaster run forward for a drop shot, they now have to run their hiney off to get to the ball, and oftentimes they're then on the next ball may have to volley, which is also not something that they really enjoy. When we're talking about mixing up spin, we're immediately also talking about the height of the ball and pace of the ball. I used to slice a lot when I played hard hitters because I felt with my slice, especially on the backhand, I could manipulate the depth a whole lot better. And if by accident or deliberately, I actually hit a shorter ball, it made it even more difficult for them to get under the ball. On a regular rally ball with topspin, you end up hitting the ball a little too short. That's exactly what they want. They're going to jump on it and they're going to eat that up, and yeah, point is over. We're not done with height yet. If you can hit high, and heavy, super heavy topspin, think Rafa Nadal, think Iga Swiatek. You bring the ball above their shoulder and it's going to be really, really difficult to control. You also push them back and you might want to get ready for some wild misses there. So you might be ready to have to duck. Or you can just throw up a sky lob as high as you can so you have enough time to recover. Blasters are usually also very impatient players, so they might actually totally overhit on those, but you do have to make sure that your higher balls are deeper. And of course your regular rally balls also have to be deep, because if they're sitting somewhere in mid-court, the point is over. Remember, the points may not necessarily last very long because, yeah, the blasters love quick points, hard points. But they also tend to really play fast in between points. So what you're trying to do with all those rhythm changes is to slow down the actual point. But by taking your maximum allowed time in between points, you're also slowing down the entire match. So that's just one more way of trying to control a little bit more of the match. That sometimes, yeah, if you do play one of those players, might feel it's slipping out of your control. But that way, you have that under control, so try to do that. If you like this video, go check out my Patreon membership platform, because there I'm publishing more videos that I don't publish anywhere else. And you can also join our monthly coaching call if you're a Grand Slam member. So go check out my Patreon.